Hello everyone, this is Lingaraj from Secure Apostille Service. We do apostillation for Indian issued documents, UK issued documents, US issued documents, Canada issued documents, Hong Kong, Singapore, you name it. We do apostillation for all the countries. So today we will be looking into a topic called apostillation for birth certificate. So we will be looking into the details, what is apostillation, why the apostillation is required for the birth certificate, what are the different processes involved in the apostillation of the birth certificate, and finally we will look into questions and queries of the customers that we regularly receive. So first we'll start off with what is apostillation. Apostillation simply means it is the verification of the seal and the signature of the document. Any document that you have, birth certificate, marriage certificate, degree certificate, will have a seal and the signature of the issuing authority. Apostillation verifies that this is the rightful authority who issued the documents. Why the apostillation for the birth certificate is needed? Whenever you are using the birth certificate at the embassy or in foreign country, they want to know that this is a genuine birth certificate and is actually issued by the right authority. Whenever a birth certificate has an apostille, it conveys the same. It conveys that the seal and the signature that is on the document, which is birth and death registrar, is a genuine seal and signature, and this can be used as a legal document in your country. So whenever the apostillation is done on the document, it conveys that this is a legally issued document. It can be accepted in all the Hague countries. Once the apostillation is done, this apostillation can be used in 117 Hague countries without any change in the apostillation. So who does the apostillation in India? The apostillation is specifically done by Ministry of External Affairs, Delhi. So all your documents, wherever throughout India, wherever you submit, the document must go to Delhi and get the apostillation for it. Okay. So what are the processes that are involved in getting the apostillation? There are mainly two ways to get an apostille. One, the apostillation is through SDM attestation, which is a court verification. Another is the apostillation through state verification. The court verification is the fastest way to get the apostillation done. The following are the processes that are involved in the apostillation through court verification. First, the document is notarized at the local level. Next, the document is attested by the court, SDM. Finally, the document will go to Ministry of External Affairs office for apostillation. In the state verification, it is more time-consuming process where the document will go to the registrar who issued the document, then it will go to the state home department, and finally it goes to the Ministry of External Affairs. The state verification takes a lot of time because that is a grassroots level verification. Depending on the state, the time may vary from 10 working days to 40 working days. In subdivisional magistrate way, the process can happen as early as possible within 3 to 4 working days. So what general questions that we get asked for the apostillation of the birth certificate? Generally, people come up to us saying that they don't have a name on the birth certificate. If you see in Indian culture, what they do is they name a child after 5 months, 6 months, 28 days or something like that. So the birth certificate that was initially issued will not have a name on the birth certificate. However, it will have the seal and the signature of the registrar. It will have the name of the parents. And so can we do the apostillation? Yes, of course we can do the apostillation for this because we are verifying the seal and the signature of the document. And since you can match the parental name to the passport of the child, then they can correlate saying that this birth certificate belongs to this child. But however, if you have siblings, that will also be an issue because if say name is not mentioned, it can be the birth certificate of your brother or sister. So definitely the apostillation for birth certificate, the birth certificate must have a name. However, if there is no name, it is not an issue, but it is not a 100% right way that you can go. Either you have to go for a new birth certificate which mentions the name of the kid, or you have to make an affidavit stating that okay, this birth certificate doesn't have a name and this is my birth certificate. This is self-declaration affidavit. Any notary public can do it, and that affidavit also requires an apostille. So in some cases there is no date of birth. This is a red flag. 100% date of birth the birth certificate should have a date of birth, or different date of birth than the passport. This is a red flag. Definitely you have to get a new birth certificate, or a completely affidavit stating that I have not issued a birth certificate initially, because the date of birth should match to your passport date of birth. And in some cases the customer came to us saying that the birth certificate is in local Indian language, whether this will be accepted or not. Of course, many of the birth certificate which are issued earlier will have the local language, either Hindi or in Kannada or in Tamil or in Gujarati. These kind of local language they will issue. This can be apostilled, but however, whenever you are going for the submission, you need to submit in English. So what we do is we will do the translation of this birth certificate from local Indian language to English, which is ISO certified translation, and we will get the apostillation for both the original local Indian language birth certificate and the translation that we have done, and then combine it together and give it to the authorities. So this kind of a process is accepted for all the countries. Some do come to us asking for whether their birth certificate with the lamination will be accepted. It will be accepted, however the delamination has to be done, because the seal is done by the rubber seal and stamp. These rubber seal and stamps cannot be done on the lamination. It will not stick. So you will have to do the delamination, complete delamination, or the delamination from the backside only, and then provide us the delaminated document. However, if you don't have any delamination centers with you, you can directly submit as it is. We will do the delamination. And then we receive birth certificate with a different name, like there will be a mistake in the name. Instead of E there will be A, instead of I there will be E. So these kind of small spelling mistakes will be there. That what we have to do is, for an example, Abhijit can be ABHIJEET or Abhijit ABHIJIT, Abhijit. So here, while making the birth certificate you might have given double E, while making the passport you might have given I. So there is a name inconsistency. This needs to be, there is a gap, so there will be a gap. This gap needs to be filled with an affidavit stating that Abhijit JEET and Abhijit JIT belong to one and the same person, and that is me. This is a same name affidavit. This affidavit has to be made, and then we will have to apostille the affidavit as well. So which states that the name mentioned on my birth certificate and the name mentioned on my passport belong to me only. So that affidavit, if you go to any notary public, they will be able to handle. These are all the general questions that we asked, and then we receive apostillation for foreign birth certificate also. Let's say for US, for OCI purpose, they do ask for the apostillation of the birth certificate, which is either US birth certificate, UK birth certificate, Canada birth certificate. For OCI purpose, the apostillation has to be done for the birth certificate. Definitely we can handle for those as well. So for dependent visa purpose, for the registration in the foreign municipality, or to avail social security number in France, or for CAF application, you must go for an apostille on the birth certificate. And in some cases, let's say in Poland, in France, in Germany, they do ask for the translation into their local language. Meaning, if you are going for France, they need a translation of the English birth certificate into French language. If you are going for Germany, they need it at to be the birth certificate to be translated to German language, to Polish, to Czech Republic. So whichever country you are traveling, they need a translation of that birth certificate into their language, because the bureaucracy there might not understand English, first thing, or the documentation that they are keeping into their official files should be there in their local language. So this may be the reason they might require the translation to be done on the document. So if you have any queries, questions, you can always contact us. The number is given, the website is given. You can always connect with us, and then our experts will handle. We have a expert for each country. We have a different expert. They will be handling your case and then finishing the apostillation properly as per the requirements of the country that you are traveling, because some countries have one requirement and others have different requirements. So the country level knowledge needs to be there to get the apostillation right at the first go itself, because if the documents are not properly apostilled and it is not done as per the requirement of the traveling country, there is a chance of rejection of the document, or worse, the rejection of the visa itself. So at the basic level, you will have to do the apostillation in such a way that it is accepted in the first go itself. You can always contact us. We will be available 24/7. Thank you.